I both were in the activity center, less than 20 feet away. No one knew anything. No one knew if those were just the first of many shots. Jason and I quickly ran to the back room, scanned the room for weapons, only finding bottles of paint to defend ourselves. The rest of my classmates scrambled under tables, holding hands, trying to find a sense of safety within each other. A million thoughts race through your head. Run, lock the door, call 911, praying that you make it back home.
The feeling of hopelessness and uncertainty was overwhelming, stuck wondering if I had to face something that I wouldn't or couldn't walk away from. All I knew was that I needed to do whatever it took to keep my classmates safe. My classmate Nick Babington and I grabbed filing cabinets and anything we could find to barricade the door. At this moment, I felt like I had to be the adult that taught us how to do lockdown drills. After securing the room the best we could, we started saying our goodbyes. With shaking hands, I called my father to make a phone call I never imagined myself making. The other 7 people in the room with us were saying their own goodbyes and I love yous.
One of those million thoughts you have is how this never should have happened. The system in place to protect us failed us. This event did not just impact Ingram students on the morning of November 8th, it continues to affect all of us. It affects every student in the district trying to receive an education and sacrificing their own safety to do so. It makes me sick to think that in many ways this could have been prevented. To our principal, Martin Flo, we demand change. To the Seattle Public School District, we demand change. And to the representatives of our state, the one that control how guns are regulated and in turn the safety of students, we demand change.
Who's next? I don't know. Who's next? I can hold it for you. I can hold it for you.
My name is Saran. I have a 10-year-old sister who attends a Seattle public school. On her first day of school, my mom, along with all of the other parents, were told by security they could not enter the school as a precaution for their safety. My school has 7 doors wide open to any civilian. My mom couldn't take a photo of my little sister next to her locker, yet a student was able to walk inside with a gun. Throughout this year so far, we have not had a lockdown drill. Since COVID, the practice on what to do under circumstances similar to Tuesday for both students and teachers has reduced significantly. This in itself is unacceptable. There have been a total of 38,402 deaths from gun violence this year alone, 17,546 from homicides, 20,856 from suicide, 590 from mass shootings, 32 from mass murder, and 1,171 are aged between 12 and 17. We are demanding actions be made so we can resume to a safe learning environment. We are demanding de-escalation, anti-racism, and restorative justice training for all of our security and educators. Lack of security does not mean we want resource officers. Seattle Public Schools has looked at the students, eyes full of fear, and turned their backs on us, which is why we are here. If we had properly trained security, would this have happened? We don't know, but it is a step forward we must implement.
Thank you. Sorry. How do I?
Just yell it.
Yeah, just yell, scream, and then...
My name is Amelia Payne Garcia. I am a graduate from Ingraham High School, class of 22, and I have been asked to speak here by the student leaders representing Ingram today. At my 4 years of Ingram, we as a community experienced the passings of many students from our school. Although the causes varied, it impacted everyone regardless of our relationships to the deceased. One of the things that Ingram has always perpetuated to be of importance is PRIDE, pride, which stands for perseverance, respect, integrity, diversity, and encouragement. Although it may seem like it lacks significance to what we are here for today, I find it to be deeply disrespectful and performative for an administration who prides themselves on these things to engage with students, and more so children, the way that they do. I remember when the Uvalde shooting happened in Texas. This was just another of the countless shootings we saw happen throughout our country. It was devastating, and I was shocked at the fact that when I returned to school the very next day, not only was everything disturbingly normal, but no one was even talking about it. Not the school, not the teachers, not the person in charge of it all, Mr. Martin Flo. This had been the exact same response we as students got when we experienced death within our own smaller community. Lack of acknowledgement, lack of sincerity, lack of mourning. I want to clarify, I do not blame the teachers or educators at Ingraham. The amount of control they are given is very limited. Some teachers who were closer to the children who had passed would do what they could, like set up a wall for post-it note remembrances. You've probably experienced something like that at your own schools. But that is not enough for us. It is not enough for students who have seen so much death in the past few years. I went to Flo's office the day after the Uvalde shooting, asking for something to be done, literally anything, but more specifically, a single moment out of the school schedule for a moment of silence. His response was that he found it inappropriate that I wanted to tell people how to mourn. When students have passed at our school, this same response has been given. This response does not feel like it holds respect, integrity, or acceptance to diversity, given the fact that many of the students have been Black or brown. I think it is disgraceful to use words that hold meaning of what a person and an institution should be, but when it is time to act, the exact opposite is done. What we are looking at now is a stagnant moment in time after a trauma where we are trying to figure out our next steps. I feel as though what we should be looking at is how to prevent these types of tragedies from occurring in the first place. This all comes back to gun reform and teaching the people of our communities how to manage and engage in healthy relationships. The fact of the matter is, other countries who have stricter laws on guns do not experience shootings the way that we do here. Secondly, we depend on parents to have the ability to teach children social and emotional learning, but unfortunately, many parents do not have the training, support, or ability to teach this to their kids. We need to start teaching dialectical behavioral therapy in schools as a graduation requirement. We need one therapist per 200 kids that represents the diversity of our schools and our communities. Kids do not regularly kill kids! There is something deeply wrong for this to be happening. Something within our systems and our institutions. It's time we fix the deep-rooted issues enabling for situations that cause us to meet together like we are today. Thank you.
My name is Lawam.
And my name is Hanan Hussein. We are seniors at Ingraham High School. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we're giving a speech about this topic.
On June 1st of 2022, we were given the opportunity by members of the Ingraham faculty to speak to the Seattle Public School Board on any concerns we had about our school. On account of this being days following the tragedy in Uvalde, Texas, we decided to voice our concerns about our own school's lack of safety measures.
Some of our main points were in regards to the lack of safety and security procedures taken on our campus, how accessible it was even to those with bad intentions, and mentioned that there were already measures being taken at other schools in our district. We asked what they take note of what other schools in our area were doing to do better and protect their students by implementing any systems that could be better and do better for the students that attended our schools.
We pleaded with the board and superintendent to make these changes before any events could take place. And seeing that we are all standing in front of you here today, that was not the case. Ironically enough, during the same meeting, the board signed a proclamation for National Gun Violence Awareness Day, while simultaneously ignoring our concerns.
This is the same board and same district that sends their condolences and makes promises on strengthening the security for its students' safety. But that isn't true. If you had any real concerns for your students, you would have taken their concerns seriously in the first place.
Instead of taking action because a student lost their life, you could have taken action to prevent that from happening in the first place. Although it is true that it is never too late to make positive changes, any action taken after today won't change the fact that there is yet another empty seat at our graduation. Thank you.
and I'm a senior at Ingraham High School. Why is this anyone's reality? Why do we ever have to witness, hear, and experience such a traumatic and serious thing at school, where we're supposed to learn? I don't think this could be a learning environment when we have students lack so much support to the point where they do the unthinkable. Matter of fact, I know we lack so much in our system when we have students think it's okay to take someone's life with the reaction of just raw emotion. Our students need the proper support system in order to prevent such tragedy from reoccurring. We need students to have outlets and people that they can talk to with a deeper meaning. Most of the time, when there are students with any sort of problem, staff members tend to stop what's happening strictly in the moment, but not as much thinking about future situations, not thinking enough about digging into the deeper root or of why the feels and intentions of action. This is why it's so important to have representation at schools for students to feel like they have people who look like them and have experienced the same things be there for them. We need staff members and people like TIPS, which stands for Tutors Impacting Public Schools, being involved so kids feel that they can go to someone and be helped and heard. By supporting us in an educational setting can show and guide students with a positive influence. Children and students need to be understood and not dealt with as problems, but as people that need time invested, not spent. Thank you.
All right. Oh, how do I turn this? Press the button. All right, we're gonna move into chants now. Yeah. Can you move in the crowd? Yeah. You have that one. Give us a minute while we figure this out. Sorry. You gotta press it.
We'll do both of this.
Yeah. Does this work?
No, it turned off.
So basically, what happened was. Can I just?
Well, the first three. Enough is enough. No more silence and gun violence. And thoughts and prayers are not.
Yeah, we need IT.
What can I do?
So basically, these both just went.
Okay. I think all you have is that megaphone right
Yeah.
now.
So that's interesting.
We can all yell it together. We can all yell it
Give me a minute. Let's wait 2 or 3 minutes. Well, let's go. So we're done. Give us 2 or 3 minutes. Let's do that IT.
I tried to, it's gonna fall off.
Oh, never mind. You want me to just do it? Yeah. Okay. Is Camille in the middle? Do you want me to do it? Actually, you can do chants. Let's do chants, and then we'll do it at the end. Okay. I think that might actually work because there's another speaker.
Great.
Can I just see?
You bet.
Testing. There we go.
Yeah,
Can you hold it really close?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. Repeat after me. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Repeat after me. No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
What do we want? Change. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Change!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Change!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Change!
When do we want it?
Now!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough!
Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough!
Woo! Okay.
It's under that.
Okay. Okay, I like the hangout, but that's just not me. Or Hong Kong BB. That's such a bad one. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay.
You got it. Deep breath. This crowd is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Chayton Sony. I use he, him pronouns. I'm here as a co-founder of the Seattle Student Union, an organization dedicated to bringing students together and organizing around key issues in the Seattle School District. How does that feel to you? Since elementary school, my classmates and I have had to practice lockdown drills, hiding in a corner, pulling down the blinds, and staying absolutely, completely silent because we knew that one day our lives would depend on it. I was in 2 active shootings in middle school alone. That feeling of dread, that feeling of terror, it never goes away. It's always in the back of your mind replaying. There has not been a day that goes by that I don't think about gun violence at school. It's a valid concern. Since Columbine, there have been 331 school shootings, exposing over 311,000 students to gun violence in schools, which are supposed to be our safe place. Every single hour and every single day. That's how often students think about gun violence when they walk into their classrooms. It shouldn't be normal when a teacher promises that when a school shooter enters, she would take a bullet for us. That's not normal anywhere else and should not be normal here. Do you know how anxiety-inducing it is walking to school, wondering if this day will be your last? Do you know what that does to a kid? Do you know that suicides are now the leading cause of death among children and teens in the United States? Seattle City Council, we need you to invest in us. State legislature, we need you to invest in us. Mental health in schools has been overlooked and underfunded for too long. It shouldn't be the norm that when a school counselor in our city has a caseload of over 400, when the American School Counselor Association recommends no more than 250. Where the state and federal government have fallen short, Seattle has the opportunity to do much better. We need your help. We need you to solve this ever-growing mental health crisis in teenagers. We need you to fund better mental health support in our schools, and we need you to solve this ever-growing mental health crisis. It's time for a change. Thank you.
Okay, do I press a button?
Yeah, this one. Oh.
Here, I have to let go of your hand. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put this in your face, alright?
Okay. Yes.
Deep breath.
Hello, my name is Sophie, and I'm a senior at Ingram. My name is Katie, and I'm a senior at Ingram. We are 2 of the leaders of Ingram for Gun Safety, a club we started after the Uvalde shooting with the dream of ending gun violence. We have spent most of our high school careers fighting for gun control and the prevention of shootings in schools, but we find ourselves in the same situation we've been trying so hard to combat. We are sad, we are angry, and we wish we could say that we are shocked, but we are not. We do not go to school to fear for our lives. This was an entirely preventable situation, and yet here we are standing before you.
We, as a club and a community, demand gun reform. Within King County, a turn-in program exists for the voluntary removal of guns from households. Any person, regardless of age, can turn in their firearms at the King County Sheriff's Office. However, there is no financial compensation for the firearms, as is customary in buyback programs. In order to reduce gun violence in our community, we want King County to provide financial compensation when someone turns in their gun. There are simple ways to reduce gun violence in our community, yet we persist in ignoring them. It is unacceptable that this continues to happen. We have been fighting for too long to still see a lack of change. Oh, thank you.
Today you heard the words of students eager for a change in our school environments. Today we ask that our students' demands be taken seriously no matter our age, racial, or religious background. We wake up every morning to prepare ourselves for our futures and not our ends. The violence indicted on November 8th was not the first time students did not feel safe in our school building. This is a recurring issue that has demanded proper action for years, and yet society has let us down. Administration is letting us down. The district is letting us down. So we ask that today our words resonate in your minds, understanding why we make these demands. Drastic measures need to be enforced, assuring the safety and mental health of students. Schools should increase the number of outreach programs within their communities. Our schools need therapists that represent the diverse background of students. Dialectical behavior therapy class should become a required course. and increased security and de-escalation training and anti-racism and restorative justice is needed, not more policing. Heed our voices and take action. Thank you.
And we're back with chants. Okay. Repeat after me. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
What do we want?
Change!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Change!
When do we want it?
Now!
No more silence and gun violence.
No more silence and gun violence!
Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough!
Woo! First of all, thank you all for coming. This was a really big turnout, and I'm really excited what we can do with this momentum. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Well done. Well done. You're finished? Your program is finished? Okay, very good. I'm going to walk the members out. What can I do to help support you in terms of reporters who are going to want to talk with you? Can I just maybe stay with you and help to kind of manage that? Okay.
So basically, I think there's like,
Yeah.
I guess I saw.
I think you're right. So I'm just going to kind of, I would just say take a minute here.
So just take a moment.
Okay. So what's going to happen, so I'm Dana, I'm communications officer.
Good job. Really proud of you. Your parents did a great job. Good job. Thank you. Sounded wonderful. Sounded good. Lisa, hi. The organizer for what? Sorry.